All right. Good afternoon, Nathan, Courtney, and Stevanko. How are you guys doing?
Okay, miss.
All right, happy to hear. So we are about to continue with our presentation. But before we begin, for the purpose of Stevanko, we were looking at for the past 2 weeks and yesterday's session, we were just doing our basic review of computation, looking at approximation with standard forms and significant figures. And today we'll be starting our look at algebra with some basic review of things that you'd have done from grade 7 and grade 8. And to start us off, we're gonna go with a simple exercise of simplifying algebraic expressions. How do we simplify expressions? And what do we do as we're simplifying? So looking at these items here, we have 10 of them. So what do you think is the first thing that we should do in simplifying our algebraic expressions based on what you have done from grade 7 and grade 8? How do we simplify expressions? Who wants to go first?
Miss, you group the like terms.
All right, we group the like terms. Courtney, what about you?
We shall also add the like term.
All right, we add like terms. Okay, Stevanko, what about you? Henry, what about you?
Miss, I can't remember.
I'm not hearing you clearly. Can you say again, please? I'm not hearing you clearly.
Speak up so teacher can hear you. Speak up so teacher can hear you.
Miss, other than what they've just said, I don't know much more. I don't remember much more.
Okay. All right, no problem. And that's why we're here. Because as I said, what we're looking at is because since you're at the grade 9 level, we're starting off with a basic review or recap of what you would have done before. And that is why we're starting off with simplifying expressions. And we're starting from the basics. So as Nathan and Courtney have said, in order to simplify algebraic expressions, meaning expressions with variables and coefficients and constants, we first have to be able to identify which terms are alike, meaning which terms either have the same letter, which terms are all constants, which terms have the same letter and exponent, because not all your expressions, when you have the same term, that means they have the same exponent. So in order for your terms to be alike, not only the letters or variables have to be the same, the exponents also have to be the same. So if we look at the first term here, or the first expression in part A, what are the like terms that we have? Yes, speak up so I can hear you.
Miss, I asked you to repeat.
You're not hearing me clearly, Nathan?
Miss, I was asking if you could repeat what you said.
Yeah, the first item, which terms are alike?
X, miss.
X only. So
Yes,
let me see if I can, okay. So once we have any expression, the first thing that we can do, if we're to simplify it, identify which terms are alike, and then we group them together. So we have two sets of variables. We have a variable in X and we have a variable in y. So notice I'm circling them. And as we're circling them, that's just to identify the variables that we have. So we need to group them and then to write it simpler. So if we have 2x and 7x, notice the signs that are there. The 7x has a plus sign to the left. The 2x, although you're not able to see the sign to the left, you will assume that it is positive. And you can remember this from working with directed numbers. If you do not see a sign, a clear sign, meaning a negative sign to the left, you take that term to be positive. So if we're grouping them together, we will have 2x plus 7x, and then we have a plus 6y. Now I'm using my phone here, but I know in a few minutes this will all be better because I'll have my assistant here writing it for me, because I'm still having difficulties in presenting. So that will be 2x plus 7x plus 6y. Okay, so let me just erase this and write everything better. All right, there you go. Now, in simplifying this, because this is just regrouping, we haven't done any simplifying as yet. So we know that we have 2x plus 7x. These terms are alike. They have the same variable or same letter. The exponents of these variables are the same. So we can go ahead and add these terms. So we can go ahead and add 2x plus 7x. When we add them up, what do we get, Courtney? 2x plus 7x, what do we get?
It's 9x.
9x. So the final answer is going to be 9x plus 6y. Now, as we have this, we cannot do anything else after that, because these two terms are now unlike. We have a variable x and a variable y. We cannot do any further combination here. So we have to leave this as our final answer. That's our final answer. Any questions so far? Sivanko, any question?
Yes, miss. Why can't the two sides be divided by 3?
Say that again, please.
Why can't the two sides be divided by 3?
Oh, you mean why can't we have 3x plus 2y?
Yes, miss.
Well, we could do that, and in doing that, we'll be using our distributive property. And that's a good observation. Yes, that is a good observation. So Nathan and Courtney, what Stevanko was saying is that we could change this out as 3 bracket 3x plus 2y. Now that's another way we can write this expression using the distributive property. But seeing that we're keeping it simpler, because distributive property, if you even think about it, we'll have to even just break this down. So 9x plus 6x, that's also correct. 3 bracket 3x plus 2y close bracket, that is also correct. Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to erase this one, and let's jump down to, what about letters C and E. Well, let me see if the number of participants have changed. So I can give each of you an item. Okay. All right, so Courtney, Nathan, and Stefanko. Here's what we're going to do. We have items C, want us to look at E, and I want us to look at H. So there's 3 of you here. Who would want to volunteer to do the first item?
Email?
Courtney, that's you?
No, Mrs. Nathan. Is it E?
Oh, you want to do E, Nathan? Okay.
Okay, I need to look it up.
No, I just volunteered you, Nathan. So, so Nathan is doing E. Courtney, you want to do C?
Yes, Miss.
All right. Oh yeah, C is for Courtney. Yay. So Courtney, you're doing C. All right. My writing is not going so well with my phone right now. And then Stevanko, I'm going to ask you to do H. I think H is one I had said. So
Okay.
C, E, and H. So this one is for Steph. All right, so I'll give you a minute because you should be able to do this one. You're regrouping. Stevanko, do you have an issue with H? Do you think you'll be able to regroup H and simplify?
Yes, Miss, I'll try.
All right, thank you, my dear. Nathan and Courtney, are you both okay with C and E?
Yes, I'm done, please.
All right, Courtney, you too, you're finished?
Yes, Miss.
Wow, everybody leveling up. Thank you very much, I like that. So I'm just waiting on Stefanko to confirm.
Yes, Miss, I'm finished.
All right, great. So are you using phones or laptops? What are you using? If you're using your phone, you can go ahead and press the pencil icon and write. If you are using a laptop, I'm not sure. Well, you should be able, are you able to see like annotate or anything like that on your side? All right, Courtney, you can go ahead. Courtney, you're working on C. Thank you, Courtney. Nathan, do you agree? Stefanko, do you agree with Courtney's response?
Miss, I agree.
Yes, Miss,
All right. All right, great. Nathan, you're next. Good job, Courtney.
You're going to have to write it for me, Miss, because I can't.
Say what?
Miss, you're going to have to write it for me because I can't, Miss.
Oh, because I was wondering what is he saying? Okay, no problem, Nathan. Go ahead.
Miss, The answer is A. 6m plus 4m plus 8n. 6m plus 8n, miss.
All right, so you said 6m. Oh, 6m
Yes, miss, plus 8n.
plus 8n. Yes, that is correct. Savanko, your turn with H.
Come in, miss.
Say again.
I'm annotating this.
Oh, okay. I am not seeing it. Have you started writing already?
Yes, miss, I'm confused why it's not coming out.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing it either. All right, can you try doing it once more? Like erase and then start writing again. Oh yes, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now. So we have A plus A and then 2B minus B. Yes, thank you. I see it.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, as I said before, this is just a revision of the basics because you would have done addition and subtraction of algebraic expressions from grade 7 and 8. And this is just keeping it simple. Now, once we get into multiplication and division, that's where we will need some knowledge of laws of indices. And before we move on, also, just to remind you of when we're looking at grouping, we must pay attention to our signs that are to the left of each of our terms. And you would have seen that in your regrouping, especially when you had your items to subtract. Before, however, we get into multiplication and division with our algebraic expressions or algebraic terms, we're going to do a quick review of directed numbers by looking at how we substitute. Let me quickly erase. Steph and Courtney, I'm going to ask you to, yes, thank you. All right, so substituting. What are we doing when we're substituting? Who wants to lead this one? I like volunteering people, but okay, go ahead.
I was supposed to substitute the x as 3 and the y as 5, miss. But miss, is that really how you say it, miss? I'm not sure, but I know how to answer the question. I know the answer for the question.
Well, yes, Nathan, your explanation is correct. So you're putting in 3 for x and 5 for y. So you can go ahead and share. So tell us the answer because it will come up, because this is just an example. So there you go. So it's 3 plus 5, and that will give us 8. Next item, next example. All right, so I just heard from Nathan. Courtney or Stavanko, which of you would like to give this one a go? Kelly, hello, good afternoon. How are you? Afternoon, Kelly. I'm just seeing that you have joined. How are you? Okay, I'm not hearing a response, so we will continue. Nathan, you just responded to the first one. So I'm going to ask Courtney or Stavanko if they would just go ahead, okay? Oh, Torre, that's you. Torre?
Your name is.
Okay, you just renamed it. All right, great. So Courtney or Steph, which of you would like to give the second example a try before I reveal the answer?
It's 11.
Okay, but 11, how, like what did we do? Did we do anything special? I don't, what if I never knew what this meant? How would you explain this?
Oh, you get it. See,
You'd have -2 times 3 equal -6 minus 5 equal 11. Equal minus 11, sorry.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it's always good when you explain it so that we can hear exactly what the thought processes were. And even so, because sometimes we are not like literally writing now, especially in a session like this, it will give your teachers an opportunity, and in this case, give me an opportunity to know what your understanding is like for this topic. So -11 is indeed correct. Courtney and Torre, following so far?
Yes, Miss.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to the next one. Now, what if you were to do these on your own? Let's say give you, how much minutes do you think you can do this one in?
5.
5 minutes? All right, so let's make it 7. So could I have 7 minutes, please? So go right ahead. If there are any questions, feel free to send me a private message and I will respond there. So you all have 7 minutes. Go ahead. As long as, well, not as long as soon as you're finished, please use the raise hand feature. And then you can start sending your responses privately as well. Okay? So the 7 minutes will start now. That means you should finish at 6:10. Go ahead, please. Okay, how are we coming along?
Goodness.
Coming along good, okay. Kate, are you the one using the device or should I rename your device?
Hi, good afternoon, Miss. Never mind me, I'm just your helper this afternoon, just checking in on the student.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
In a few minutes, a few seconds rather. So you'll see me from
Okay.
the time.
Okay, no problem. No problem at all.
All right. Good, good.
All right, so Torre, following so far, able to manage?
Yes, miss.
All right, great. How far are you? Because we are at our 3-minute marker, which means we have 4 minutes left. Remember to show your steps as you're going along. Okay, you should each be finishing up right now. 3 minutes left. Less than a minute left. And remember, it's okay if you're not finished because we're just reviewing.
Miss, I'm finished.
Thank you, Nathan. So according to my time, the 7 minutes are up. So if you're wrapping up, I'll just give you a few more seconds, which means I am waiting on Courtney, I'm waiting on Torre, and I'm waiting on Stevanko.
Miss,
I'm
I'm
finished.
finished.
All right, so that means I am waiting on Torre.
Miss, I'm finished.
You're finished? Then, Okay, I don't understand that. I mean, I said use a raise hand icon, and I'm not seeing anybody raising their hand when they're finished. So if you're finished, just raise your hand. Thank you. Okay, so who wants to go first? Dum, 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 dum. Please choose before I volunteer you. Okay, Stevanka, go ahead. Give me a bit more volume, my dear. Not hearing you loudly.
12.
All right. And can you like just quickly say? So give me the step by step, like what you did to get your answer. I am not hearing you clearly, my dear. Can you go again, please?
Yes, I said 2 minus 2 times negative 5. 2 minus 10 equal 12.
Ah, all right. So let me write this out for in the event that someone not able to follow what you're saying. So we have 2 take away 2 multiplied by negative 5, which happens to be negative 10. That's what you were saying, right?
Yes, miss.
And then
Yes,
this,
miss.
so we now have a 2 plus 10, and that gives us 12. So Nathan, Torrey, and Courtney, do you agree, disagree?
Yes, I agree.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. So item 1 down and checked off. Let me erase this. Okay, next volunteer, just go right ahead.
The next answer is 36.
That's Nathan.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so you want your teacher to do your writing for you again, right? Go
Yes,
ahead,
miss.
my dear.
Miss.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Nathan.
So it will be x will be 2 times z, which is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And then
Are you
6.
sure it's z times 2?
It's
What does that little two at the top means?
miss. We have to don't we square it after? I mean after miss.
The
Get
square is attached to the z. The square is
Oh,
attached to the z.
attached to the z, miss. Okay. So z squared is 9. So 9 times 3, 18, miss.
Okay, so let's ask your classmates if they agree or disagree. So Tori, Courtney, and Steph, Vanko, do you agree, disagree?
I agree.
I just heard one agreement. Yeah, anyone else?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
All right, thank you very much. So yes, this is correct. So what I want you to pay attention to is based on your index notation right there that we have, it is assigned to the z, so you'd have to do that part first. So remember your order of operation, okay? So that down. Everyone okay so far? Okay, so second item down. So 2 more persons left. Pick, choose, and refuse.
Miss, I'm going there.
So all right, go ahead, my dear. Are you able to write?
Yes, miss.
All right, go right ahead, my dear. Go right ahead. if you're writing, it's not coming up on my side as it. I guess it's delayed. Okay, yeah, seeing it now. So you can go ahead. Okay, is it a positive 4 or a negative 4?
So positive.
Okay, so your answer should be negative 4. So remember, when we're working with positive and negative numbers, especially in division or multiplication, if one of your terms is negative, your answer will be in the negative. That's one of the basic rules for working with positive and negative numbers in division or multiplication. Okay, so you can put your negative sign beside your 4. Well, this is a good attempt. Thank you very much. So the final question. Remember to, I'm not seeing the addition of the negative. Okay, thank you. So the final question, while that is being erased, so Tori, I believe you're left with the final question.
There's -4 minus -15 over -2. And then you get 11 over 2. 11 over -2, which gives you -5.5.
Okay, I'm trying to write it out as you were speaking. So you said, okay, this is not, okay, it's coming up now. Thank you very much, Courtney. So we have negative, and then we have x squared, which is 2 squared minus 3 times -5. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. And then that is being divided by -5 plus 3. And what else did you say?
What did you say,
What else?
Miss?
And I'm asking you to continue because I was trying to write while you were speaking so as your classmates could follow. So what did you say next?
Miss, then -4. Miss, that's -4 minus -15 over -2.
Okay, now a point of observation here. We have, let me change the color. We have a takeaway, and then our answer from Z multiplied by 5 is what?
What did you say, Miss?
Our answer from Z multiplied by Y is what? So that's 3 multiplied by -5. We have -15, right?
Yes, Miss.
So notice we now have a takeaway and a negative together. When we have a takeaway and a negative together, we are to add. So that now brings this to a negative 4 plus 15. Okay, any question? Any question?
No questions.
Tore, any question? With the change right
Oh,
here
yeah.
that I just highlighted in yellow? Okay. So that will bring us back to our, let me erase this quickly. So now we will have negative 4 plus 15, and that will be divided by what, Tori? So that's negative 5 plus 3. What is that answer? Negative 5 plus 3.
-2.
Okay, and negative 4 plus 15 is equal to?
11.
So we can leave our final answer like this, or if you want to write it as a mixed number, you can go ahead and do that. But that choice is yours. Any questions so far as we're in our final minutes of class? Any question?
No.
All right,
No.
so as we look at, so in the few minutes that we have left, let us go to the next slide to see how much we can do. As the next slide will have us looking at the next slide, please. All right, you can, oh, I forgot to erase my, this is the next slide, right? Let me just quickly erase my notations here. All right, so what you're just seeing highlighted is just how the terms of an expression and the labeling of the key terms in algebra. So in algebra, we'll always have a variable. We will have what we call our coefficient, and we have our constant. So your 5x term, that's a term. Your 7, which is a constant, is also a term. So once we have an expression with a variable in it, that's what we call an algebraic expression. And we can write out our algebraic expression using our traditional English phrases. And with that, we will need knowledge of some synonyms, sub-synonyms to our basic operations. So we have 4 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So we can go to the next slide. And for each of these operations, sorry, can you go back? The slide that has the operations table, the one before this previous slide. Yes. So this will look at, or just, some of our definitions of our terms. Then you can go ahead to the next one where we just were. That's the labeling. And then what I'm gonna have us looking at is, because we only have a few minutes left, we have 2 video links, and I'm going to ask Mr. Face if he could just send them in the chat, copy and paste them and send them in the chat, so that you can have a look at these videos in your free time. Or if you do not have any homework to do, immediately after this session is finished, you can have a look at these videos And please remember, as I would have encouraged you from our first sessions, if you were here, that because we're doing this online and you may not necessarily have like a physical notebook, you can use your word pad, your note, whatever note app you have on your device, save the video links that are shared, save the website links that are shared, so that when you're doing your personal revision, along with what you learn in your day school, you can look back at these videos for help or just to refresh your memory. Okay? And it's always good to review and to practice and to review. You're doing all of them in a cycle. So that's whatever you're learning, it remains fresh in your memory. Okay? So are you all seeing the 2 video links now? All right, thank you. So these 2 video links, as you can see from the heading of the slide, look at index or exponent. Whichever term you use or whichever term you're more comfortable with, that's fine. They are basically identifying the same thing. And one index, more than one indices, one exponent, more than one exponent. So just putting that out there. And as you watch the video links, whether it be after this session or before class next week, and I would advise that you watch it before class next week, because once we start looking at division and multiplication, your knowledge of how to work with indices will be important. And in closing, I'm just going to give you a quick preview on the laws that we'll be working with. So may I have the next slide, please? All right, you can, if you're able to zoom in on the laws that we have here, these are the ones that we'll be focusing on for now. The ones that utilize basic operations of multiplication, like what happens when you're multiplying and your bases are the same. And once you watch the videos, you'll understand what I mean by when we say base and then your exponent. What happens when we're dividing and the bases are the same? What happens to the exponent? What happens when we have an exponent to another exponent? Any base to a 0 power, and what if our power or exponent is in the negative? How do we write that? So those are the things that we will be focusing on come next week, when we will be looking at some more basic information as relates to algebra and its introduction. Are there any questions before we dismiss? Any questions before we dismiss? Nathan, Courtney, Torre, Stevanko, any questions before we dismiss?
I have no questions.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Courtney, what about you?
Just can you repeat, please?
Now, I was asking if you have any question based on the video links that were shared and the plan for next week with indices. Do you have any questions?
No, miss.
Okay, Stevanko and then Torre, any questions?
Yes.
All right, so as we're wrapping up, please remember that all subjects are important, not just math. I mean, math is important, yes, because that's what we're doing. But all your subjects are important. Ensure that you do your homework as soon as you get them. And you are to practice, practice, practice. Watch your video links, go back through whatever you're given on a daily basis. And all being well, I'll see you all next week on Wednesday. So do enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye, miss. Thank you, miss.
Bye, you're welcome.